Good afternoon and welcome to Options Center. It is Tuesday, another Powell day. Crazy roller coaster ride. I wanted to do this update now. I have things to do later on and I'm not going to be able to get a video out in enough time. So I want to get an update out and kind of reiterate what we're looking at. We're pretty much, as we speak, no change from earlier this morning. And then the market kind of leveled out and took off, retraced the whole thing back. So we're right back where we were. We're looking for more downside. And we have a couple more clues to why this might be more of a bearish setup now. But it still stands from the weekend. And I'll put that video up above if you haven't watched it yet. It still stands from the weekend that I will turn bullish if this scenario happens. So it looks like we're getting our pullback now, and then there's a certain range for that pullback that I'll be looking to lighten up on positions and see if it kind of coincides with any catalysts or things like that, and we'll see what direction it goes after that. But let me get myself off the screen and we'll jump into it. And if you're new here, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Center logo and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like buttons. Everybody's been wonderful here. Thank you. And feel free to comment on anything. If you want me to cover something a little bit more, if you're interested in whatever, just throw it in the comments or just say hi. All right. So we have ES on the monthly time frame. We'll go through multiple time frames down to the 65 and check out the Elliott wave count, see where we stand and why we think this move is not done yet to the downside. We have ES on the monthly time frame. After completing a 5-wave move, it's possible that this is a major top here. We have lower highs, lower lows. We go back to test this 20-month simple moving average, and what I'm really looking for on this monthly time frame is getting back into this consolidation that we had for 3 weeks. This seemed to be a breakout and now is sort of back testing, and we're right as we speak. It's great timing. The 4,100 level, that is kind of what I consider the back test. Look at the highs of this candle. 4,100. It is the high is 4,109, but that close is about 4,085. So those are the ranges. You know, this one opened at 40.94 and this high was a 40.93. So we're just right in that 4,100 range from 3,900 to 41. 200-point range that we're looking to get back into and see kind of what happens from there. I think that would consider this to be a fake break at that point. Okay, going down to the weekly. Let me change this weekly board, and what you're going to notice is that after falling onto this ascending wedge, we have lower highs, lower lows, consistently going through. Now, the weekend video, you got to check that out because this changed a little bit of the structure since we made a new high here, back testing that 100-week simple moving average. So we started to change course, started to firm up the bullish action. But really, if you're looking at market structure, we only made a lower high so far. We have a lower high here and then another lower high. And like I said, the bulls have more work to do, but we'll see. Are we just back testing this line here from the breakout, or are we looking for lower prices from this point? I am leaning towards the bear side. I think everybody's seen that for a long time. At least if you followed my videos, I've constantly put the thumbnails as bearish. I try to do both sides for you to see. I just want to give you the perspective of what I'm looking at, and you have to choose for yourself how you're going to trade that or what direction you want to go. But what happened is we have this channel here, or it's more of a wedge, and we hit the top of it. We're back testing. Just price is not able to get above this 4,200 area. And so now we're fighting with the 8 EMA and breaking down from that point. It seems to be holding for the moment. We'll see what happens overnight. But all of this looks like follow through after this reversal candle here. So, or you can call it a tweezer top as well. And then we'll be getting some follow through there. And so that's what we're looking at. From that point of view, I'm going to move over to the SPX because I think that gives a little bit better representation, especially on the 65. So I made that larger wedge here. That kind of gives the visual of what we think is happening. This is a bearish visual. And then we're going to be looking to backtest the 200 and this uptrend line from there. So we'll be looking down to that point. I do understand that this 8 EMA could hold. I don't see that happening, but it could. This 65-minute chart will break down what we think is happening next here. Let's look at 65. So this gives a little bit better angle of this trend lines here. And this is a wedge. We had a throw over, broke down into that wedge, and with Powell speaking, made a back test. Okay, stayed with that inside the wedge, and now it's actually breaking down. And that's a big deal, breaking down from this wedge. It already did technically, but if we get some closes underneath this this support at about 40.80, and then we'll be looking for lower prices from there. The next support is really around 4,000. We do have the options expected move. That's an area where the options market predicts that that price will go for this week. Okay, let's bounce over to the Elliott wave. And this is a bigger picture, so we're going to scroll right back to the ES. And let's go on to this this Elliott wave board. Okay, and so we're looking at from this pullback, and we had two of these retracements up there. We took off one of them, and this very well could just be a simple 1-2 setup, or this could be a 1-2-1-2 setup. So we have to be careful on if this starts getting traction to the downside, whether if you get down to the wave 4s and 5s, that there could be 2 sets rather than 1 set or degree of 4-5 4-5 kind of thing, since this is a 1-2, possibly 3-4-5 here, or 1-2-1-2. But came right back to that 618 retracement for a nice setup, and we sat on our hands. We're short already. There were a couple calls that I put on for QQQ and SPY to hedge whatever was going to happen. I did not touch those. If those are going to work, then they'll work. But if not, then we'll let those go, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And two more things. The NASDAQ has that big level at about 12.5, and so that's the level for that to break down in order for something to happen to the downside. But okay, this is very similar to what I did with the with ES, and we did this on Twitter. So check us out on Twitter, and we had a 1-2-1-2 setup and rejected off of the 618 once again, and so just a huge setup. We did break the low slightly, and we'll see what happens there, because this could be a really small, another 1-2 coming up here. Okay, so a lot of times when you are reversing and you're starting off a trend, you have these almost choppy 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and all these degrees of levels before you start getting your wave 3s in that start moving a little bit more intense and are much larger trending moves. The last thing I want to look at was the VIX, and just keeping an eye on this downtrend line. It's pretty clear what it needs to do, and it's rejecting a little bit off of it again. But this made that low, came back to retest this triangle bottom here, and then the wedge. So we're just making a higher low at this point, and there needs to be a confirmation above the 20 area. So if the VIX gets over 20, that kind of confirms that we made a higher low, and also that's likely a wedge breakout at that point. So I think most of this action will either be done in power hour or overnight. If it is to happen, I think it's very likely. So that's why I want to get the video out, so you can kind of position yourself, if you can, before the market closes. All right. So that's all. We'll revisit everything tomorrow, and don't forget to hit those notification that bell, because I do videos often, and probably too often. You can't watch them all. That's fine. But you'd like to hit that bell so you can get these videos whenever possible.